Coming up, 4-year-old twin girls killed in a house fire west of Byron Bay. The first post-lockdown stage show set to open at the Civic Theatre, and the heartwarming birthday party for a little girl near Newcastle. Those stories and more coming up at 6. Tonight, tragedy. 4-year-old twin girls killed in a house fire near Byron Bay. The nation's COVID vaccine rollout to hit the accelerator yet again. Scott Morrison heading to the Hunter to start selling his new climate policies. We check in with young AJ, 2 months on since his remarkable rescue in the Hunter. And Australia 2 wins away from its first T20 World Cup triumph.
This is NBN News with Jane Goldsmith.
Good evening. It's been a tragic day in a small town in the hills inland from Byron Bay. Twin 4-year-old girls have died in a house fire, believed to have been started by a candle in the early hours of this morning.
A secluded rural oasis turned scene of tragedy. And
we'll cross live to our reporter at the scene shortly. Border bans have taken campaigning off the cards in recent months, but now the Prime Minister is looking to make up for lost time with a tour of marginal seats. Scott Morrison will road test his new climate policies in the Hunter tomorrow as protests over a lack of action continue overseas.
The soundtrack for change blaring through the streets of Glasgow.
Returning to our top story and more on the tragic death of twin girls in a house fire. Let's cross live now to James Wilson, who's at Mullumbimby tonight. James, a painful investigation for police, but painstaking just the same.
Well, Jane, there are around six families that live on this property. A number of those people, including the girl's family, have been here at the police station this afternoon giving statements to detectives. Of course, this does remain an ongoing police investigation and officers will stay at this home tonight. Police want to make sure they're leaving no stone unturned. Jane.
Thank you, James. A scam-busting minister would be appointed if Labor wins the next election in a bid to stop Australians being ripped off billions of dollars a year.
Every day, Australians are getting hammered. Text messages, fake phone calls, emails.
There's been 77 new COVID cases recorded in the Hunter New England Health District. Only 26 were in the Hunter itself, with all council areas back in single digits. Newcastle and Cessnock saw 7 each, while there were 5 each in Lake Macquarie and Port Stephens. 2 were found in Maitland. A devoted Central Coast nurse has reflected on his time fighting Wilcannia's COVID outbreak. Peter McKay was deployed in September when the virus was quickly spreading through the vulnerable community.
1,000 kilometres west and dressed head to toe in PPE. Holly Williams, NBN News.
After restrictions, lockdowns and plenty of setbacks, musicals are ready to make a triumphant return in Newcastle. On Wednesday night, the loud and colourful Priscilla, Queen of the Desert will be the first show to take the stage at the Civic Theatre in 3 months.
In 2019, these performers were cast in the hit musical Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. It's only now, 2 years on, they're finally in the makeup chair. Adam Murray, NBN News.
7 half-iron triathlons in 7 days. It's no easy feat, but a Hunter man is embarking on the challenge to raise money for charity. Making it even more extraordinary, John Demandel is vision impaired.
On the bike, on the treadmill and in the pool.
Coming up, at least 8 killed and hundreds injured in a stampede at a rap concert. Why the cost of green slips is coming down. And a roadblock of a different kind in the US. Emergency crews are still searching for the body of a man fatally mauled by a shark in Perth. The 57-year-old is believed to have been attacked by a great white while swimming at Port Beach in North Fremantle yesterday. Several people witnessed the attack before the man disappeared.
So far, we haven't been able to recover any items other than 1 pair of goggles, and that pair of goggles has been swabbed for testing.
It's understood he was a father of 3. An investigation into the deaths of 8 people at a music concert in Texas has taken a sinister turn. Police are looking into reports that a security guard was injected with a drug before falling unconscious.
In amongst a mass of music fans, a tragedy is unfolding. Dozens are injured and some are dying, crushed in a crowd surge.
Coming up, we check in on young AJ, the toddler who went missing at a Hunter property. A special mission south for these 4 feathery friends. And the police party crashers who brightened a little girl's day near Newcastle. A passenger plane's emergency landing in Spain took a dramatic turn when 24 passengers rushed onto the runway and tried to flee the airport. Police quickly chased them, but only managed to arrest a dozen people. The flight from Casablanca to Istanbul was grounded when a passenger appeared to fall ill. Officers are investigating if it was a planned attempt to illegally enter Spain. At least 99 people have been killed and dozens more injured when a fuel tanker exploded in Sierra Leone. It's one of the deadliest incidents the West African nation has seen.
A leaking tanker, an opportunity too good to ignore for dozens.
Every dollar saved counts, particularly after economic shocks of the pandemic. There's now some help with our green slips. Government reforms delivering motorists an average saving of $19 a year from January. That'll push the average premium below $470, the lowest it's been in more than a decade. Police were called to a party at Lake Macquarie today, but not because anyone was breaking the law. Officers were there for a very different reason, to help brighten up the day of a brave little girl.
Perched on a pony, little Piper Kelly looks like any other 5-year-old. Sam Burberry, NBN News.
Mitchell Hughes joins us now with the day's sport, and the Aussies are in with a chance at the T20 World Cup, Mitch.
They certainly are, and David Warner is in fine form. Thanks, Jane. Coming up, Justin Langer says his team has got the talent to win the World Cup. And the Wallabies train in Scotland ahead of their clash with the home side. The T20 World Cup is the one trophy missing from Australia's cricket collection, but Justin Langer says his men are finally ready to claim it. The Aussies moved into the Final Four with a resounding win over the West Indies. David Warner and Josh Hazlewood were the standouts.
Defeating the defending champions.
England is settling into quarantine in Queensland ahead of the upcoming Ashes. The players admitting today they suspected Ben Stokes would be a part of the series well before he announced his return.
I wasn't actually that surprised. I kind of felt like something was bubbling away. So it was nice when I saw it announced. And
the first test will be played at the Gabba starting December 8. To the NRL, and club legend Andrew Johns says he's excited about the prospect of coaching Luke Brooks if the halfback ends up moving from the Tigers to the Knights. Johns believes the 26-year-old needs a change, and that includes getting out of Sydney. The Rugby League immortal has been hired by Newcastle in a newly created position of coaching consultant. Jai Picken has grabbed 3rd spot at the New South Wales Country Championships in Forbes, finishing as the best of our Hunter golfers. His brother Bryce and Branxton's Corey Lamb finished in a tie for 9th place, thanks to rounds of 71 and 72. Jane, as my good mate Sam Jordan would say, stars of the future.
They sure are. Thank you, Mitch. Severe thunderstorms across the region tonight. We'll check the Hunter weather details right after the break.
NBN News Rewind. Proudly brought to you by Newcastle Permanent. Here for good.
Now to our weekly Rewind series, direct from the NBN News archives. Tonight we remember a time when NBN News visited a famous Wharf Road landmark in Newcastle.
In the 1960s, Newcastle locals could keep their cool thanks to Dark's Iceworks. The harbourside location, once occupied by Dark's Iceworks, now completely transformed.
And we'll have another episode of NBN Rewind next Sunday night. Let's turn to the weather now. Storms are rolling through the region this evening. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds, large hailstones and heavy rainfall for the Hunter. But a beautiful start to the day. Sunrise captured by one of our keen contributors, Brenton Bradford at Boat Harbour. And if you have a weather shot, please send it to us on Instagram. Let's head up to the satellite. Extensive cloud over parts of northern Australia, the interior, New South Wales, southern Queensland and eastern Victoria is producing rain, showers and storms mostly elsewhere. On the synoptic chart, troughs and low pressure will lead to showers and storms locally heavy over parts of WA, Western South Australia, the Northern Territory and northeast New South Wales. A trough will bring cooler winds and showers to eastern New South Wales, Victoria and southern New South Wales. It was partly cloudy today with showers and storms about this afternoon. Thunderstorms with heavy falls and possible hail continuing this evening. There is a severe weather thunderstorm warning for damaging winds, large hailstones and heavy rainfall for the Hunter. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a very high chance of showers and a possible thunderstorm expected. In terms of coastal waters information, there is a strong wind warning for tomorrow with southerly winds up to 30 knots. And we'll head to our forecast for Newcastle. Showers forecast for most days this week, expecting around 20 millimetres of rain tomorrow and around 20 to 30 millimetres on Thursday and Friday. For the Upper Hunter this week, heavy falls also later this week around Thursday and Friday. Some showers also expected tomorrow and possible thunderstorms. While for Gosford this week, expecting rain most days from Monday right through until next weekend, expecting some showers on Monday and also for Thursday and Friday. And of course, for more local news, just head to our website. Before we go, tonight we farewell our home of almost 60 years. The studios here at Mosbri Cres in Newcastle.
The first broadcast here was on March 4, 1962, and tonight's the last. This studio has produced some of the region's most loved programs and telethons. Tomorrow night, it's the beginning of a new era for NBN News.
Join us as our team of reporters across northern New South Wales and southeast Queensland brings you the latest news live from our new state-of-the-art headquarters on Newcastle Harbour. But from all of the team here, including those behind the scenes, thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.
Remember, the people who love you love to see you smile. Bye-bye.
Here is the news. 1967 was a good year.
So it certainly looks like we're in for a fine weekend.
Chairman of the Shortland County Council.
The high-pressure area straddles the waters of Bass Strait.
Top Newcastle galloper Luskin Star completed the night. Congratulations to the Katara club.
It was a game of figure.
St George, Marconi, Newcastle United.
Doctors have confirmed the first case of...
Remember, the people who love you love to see you smile. Bye-bye.
Here is the news. 1967 was a good year.
So it certainly looks like we're in for a fine weekend.
Chairman of the Shortland County Council.
The high-pressure area straddles the waters of Bass Strait.
Top Newcastle galloper Luskin Star completed the night. Congratulations to the Katara club.
It was a game of figure.
St George, Marconi, Newcastle United.
Doctors have confirmed